Hey guys, what is up? It's 8-Bit Eric. Today I'm going to give you 10 negative things about the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I'm excited about the system, but there's some things that are a little bit concerning, and we're going to handle them today. Alright, first and foremost, the thing that I thought was probably not such a wise decision was the lack of a pack-in title. For $299, I guess you really can't expect much. But when things are aside, when you saw different games being advertised and talked about, there's one game that really stuck out as my idea for the perfect Packin game, and that's the one that was kind of criticized the most. 1-2 Switch. A lot of people felt that that was showing off stupid motion controls all over again. They're like, dude, do we really need another Wii Sports or a Wii Play? Whether you like those two games or not, those two games actually showed off a lot of the technology of what the Wii Remote was. 1-2 Switch, though, I think is, pun intended, switching things a little bit up. It's promoting itself as not necessarily needing the screen to play the game. I think it's going to be a fun party game. I could see conventions using tournaments with 1-2 Switch with the draw game. I mean, could you imagine having a party game where you do a quick draw tournament to see who's the baddest shooter in your crew? I think that would be awesome. And the fact that the JoyCons have different types of vibration, HD vibration, what the hell was it called again? I don't remember, but that you could tell difference in weight, the sound, you could feel things moving. It's not just basic rumbling. So I think 1-2 Switch would have been a perfect Packin game, because let's be real, are you going to pay $50 for that game? As big of a Nintendo fan as I am, I don't think I'm going to be seeing myself paying for that. ARMS is another one that was heavily criticized. Looks wacky, could be a sleeper hit. It's too early to tell at this stage, but either one of those two, or even both, should have been a Packin game, because it looks like they really help promote what the Joy-Con controllers can do. None of the other games that were advertised really show that. So if the Joy-Con is going to be a big part of the Nintendo Switch experience, a Packin game more than likely should have been involved. Next up, the one thing that I saw a lot of people really concerned about was the lack of... Next up, the one thing that I saw a lot of people concerned about is the lack of games available at launch. Now, a lot of people get terminology wrong. There's difference in launch day games and launch title games. A launch window is actually bigger than just launch date, if you did not know that. All the games that were advertised on the Nintendo Switch presentation are technically launch title games, because they were advertised during the initial launch phase of the console. Now, launch date games, there ain't shit. There's about 6, actually. A lot of people weren't really aware, but we got Skylanders. We all know that bullshit. We got Just Dance, and I'm not gonna lie, I like Just Dance, but while I do like Just Dance, and it is a fun title, if you're wanting to appeal to the hardcore market, you're gonna need more sophisticated game. You're gonna need heavy hitters that, quite frankly, are not gonna show up on a Nintendo console, like a GTA or a Fallout, something like that, but that's wishful thinking. I can see why they put Skylanders and Just Dance, because those cater to the family appeal, the casual audience. It brings in money. I mean, people are going to buy Skylanders, and they need to buy the Skylander toys to play with the Switch. It's no-brainer. And then Just Dance is a party game. And, you know, you got 1-2 Switch, which is another party game. So you got party games, you got the epic title of Zelda, and yeah, and not to mention, guys, Japan is actually getting a few different titles. So just to confirm, there's going to be in North America 6 games on launch day. Zelda, 1-2 Switch, Super Bomberman R, Just Dance, Skylanders, and Binding of Isaac. 6 is not a bad number. Those games are all a huge variety. I'm surprised there's not a sports game, to be quite honest. I think a Madden port kind of would have did good. Madden 17 would have sold some titles. A FIFA game was announced, but it's not coming out. Japan is getting Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, I'm Setsuna, Nobunaga's Ambition, I can't ever say that name, Puyo Puyo Tetris. And so far there's no PAL exclusives that I know of. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Japan and 6 for America. Not including any downloads that might have not been announced recently. I mean, we still have about 7 weeks of this recording. There can be indie titles that come out. There can be virtual console titles. So launch day, while slim, I think it's going to be okay. And who didn't forget about the Nintendo 64's launch title? We had like Pilot Wings, Blast Corps, and Mario 64. But it still could be considered a negative thing that the game selection is not really that overwhelming. It's a little underwhelming. Another negative, the Joy-Con stand that comes in the console is one that does not charge the Joy-Cons. You're going to have to pay $30 more for that luxury. Now, while this is not needed because you can charge them using the AC adapter that comes with the Nintendo Switch console, it's a little bit misleading. This is one of the hidden costs that the Nintendo Switch is going to have. I think a lot of people might be disappointed if they don't really follow their Nintendo Switch news that the Joy-Con stand is not going to charge your Joy-Cons. One major thing that I kind of was on the fence about, that a lot of people might be turned off about, is the fact that Nintendo is going to do a paid internet approach. I always told people one of the benefits to the Wii U was that it was free internet. Not anymore. Nintendo is going to actually have a paid subscription service. They're going to provide NES or Super Nintendo games, similar to what Xbox Gold and PlayStation Plus do with games every month. I don't know. This is the first time for Nintendo. They're going to have to deliver. If they don't, this is a huge negative. If they're going to be charging for whatever reason, I mean, there's already those two other networks that I said, Xbox and PSN. You're going to have to convince a lot of people to pay for a third one. I'm already subscribed to the other two. You're going to have to convince me a lot, and it's going to have to be kind of cheap. Speaking of changes, there's going to be no more Miiverse or Street Passes at all on this console. You would think Street Pass is pretty successful for the 3DS. It would have been a nice touch to add on to the handheld compatibility that this console is going to have, but it's gone. Miiverse is going to be gone too. I really enjoyed the Miiverse. It was a nice idea, and I would have liked to have seen them perfect it a little bit, but we're not going to see any Miiverse on the Nintendo Switch, which leads me to my next negative. You're going to be using your smartphone for online interactivity, for voice chat, to contact people. There's going to be an app that you have to download. Your paid subscription will include it. Now, I can see why they did that. It helps pay for the app. It helps pay for, I guess, the licensing and all the issues that they're going to have with it. In theory, there's good intention, but to use your smartphone instead of the console, it's kind of weird. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I've already seen some people kind of turned off by the fact that they're going to be using the smartphone. I guess it's because DNA, the mobile company that's partnered with Nintendo, has intents on somehow capitalizing on the mobile venture and things like that. So we'll see. We'll see. The one thing that really legitimately concerned me was the battery life of the tablet. It said it's going to be anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. Realistically, you can't expect to play Breath of the Wild for 12 hours on a tablet. I mean, come on. So, the battery life could be a concern. It's a little bit of a hit or miss. You never know what you're really going to get. For advertising of portable gaming, it is somewhat of a short battery life for the tablet. So that could definitely be a negative turn on to some people. A negative turn on. The main thing that has pissed me off the most is the fact that this is going to have 32 gigabytes internal memory. You can't do that. It's 2017. We're getting consoles that have 2 terabytes, like the Xbox One S, the PS4 Pro. You want to compete, you're going to have storage capabilities. Now, there could be a positive side to this. I really enjoyed that the Wii U did not have to install games like the PS4 and Xbox One do before you play them. I really like that you can put the disc in and it goes instantly off the disc. So, putting the game card in for the Nintendo Switch, boom, pop it in, no need to install. But let's say you want to download a game. I read recently that Breath of the Wild alone is going to be 14 gigabytes. That's almost half. Think about that. Your storage space is going to fill up really quick. Now, they did say that you could upgrade it with SD cards, and they're going to eventually have USB support for external hard drives and all that. So, it's a little inconvenient, though, because those things aren't cheap. That's extra hidden cost. I can see why they would keep it down to $299.99 by having the storage space a little bit smaller. But I don't know. That 32 gigabytes ain't shit. No. Now, the accessories are a bit overpriced, which is a major negative. The JoyCons are going to be $80. If you want to get another set of JoyCons for people to play, $80 each. Wii remotes I thought were like a little pricey at $30. JoyCons are $80. The Pro controller is $70. These are high accessories. I don't know about that, to be quite honest. Which also leads me to the price of the console, $299.99. A lot of people were hoping this would be $250, which was a wishful thinking. It was realistic in my opinion. But here's the problem. $300 for a slightly underpowered, comparable powered to what's out there already for cheaper. I kind of have a negative feeling about that, because you can get a PS4 for less than $300 with a lot more gigabytes of space, a huge variety of games, and you got this new console that has a launch lineup that has stuff that you can play elsewhere, like Skylanders and Just Dance, and really the only enticing thing is Zelda, in my opinion. So, of course I'm going to get it, but that is probably the biggest negative, is that the price is just not compatible enough with the selection of games that are available out, plus everything else that I mentioned. There's just too much little extra fees for like accessories, paid subscription service for stuff that is really not set. I mean, what games are coming out that you play online with? Like, what, out of all the 6 games that are coming out, what has online multiplayer that is worth paying enough for? Like GTA 5 on PS4. I'll pay for that access. But what do we have over here? I don't know. These are just quick. This was just 10 negatives that I had about the Nintendo Switch. I already pre-ordered one. I'm going to get it. I'm excited. And it remains to be seen if these things will affect it enough. But you've got to look at both sides of the fence. So yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Leave a comment below. What did you think? And don't forget to smash that like button. I'll see you next time. Peace out.